Have you ever looked into the eyes of a stranger and felt as if everything around you stopped, leaving only two souls facing each other? No words were spoken, no touch was exchanged, yet every sense within you awakened, as if your heart had just found a missing piece long lost. Carl Jung called this synchronicity, the miraculous harmony between two souls, not born from mere coincidence, but guided by a resonant frequency. When two individuals reach the same frequency, that connection transcends all physical limitations, weaving its way into the deepest corners of the unconscious. Like how two chemical substances create a powerful reaction when they meet, the connection of two synchronized souls transforms how they perceive the world and awakens the most hidden parts within each person. Amidst the vastness of the universe, there are souls seemingly designed to find each other, to resonate together, to awaken together. But is this miraculous connection a destiny preordained, or merely a strange coincidence of creation? And when the energy of two souls truly aligns, is there any force strong enough to tear them apart? Number 1. Energy harmony between two souls, synchronicity. Have you ever met a stranger? Just a glance into their eye, and your heart seems to stop. Every sound around you seems to fade away, and a strangely familiar feeling engulfs your mind. No words spoken, no touch exchanged, yet the invisible energy between you feels as if it has existed for centuries. Carl Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, the harmony between two souls, a kind of connection not born of chance, but stemming from resonant vibrational frequencies. In his work, Synchronicity and a Causal Connecting Principle, Jung defines it as events that occur simultaneously without direct causal connection, yet hold deep meaning for the experiencer. According to him, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. This means that such synchronicity always exists around us, only waiting for us to be awakened enough to recognize it. Have you ever walked into a crowded room full of strangers, yet only one gaze pulls you back, as if amidst that chaotic crowd there is a missing piece waiting to merge with you? That is the resonance of frequencies between two souls. Jung believed that each of us carries a unique vibrational energy, and when the frequencies of two people align, the connection becomes undeniable. There is no need for long-winded stories or clumsy introductions. The two recognize each other not only through reason, but through deep intuition. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed, Jung once wrote. The meeting of two individuals is like the contact of two chemicals. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. This explains why, sometimes, when we meet someone for the first time, it feels as if we've known them for a very long time. It is not a mere coincidence, but a sign of synchronicity, a connection that transcends the limits of space and time. In that moment, it is no longer two separate entities, but a merging of two resonating souls. They understand each other without much explanation. Every silence becomes comfortable, and their eyes exchange invisible messages. A prime example is the story of the famous writer Paulo Coelho when he met his wife, Cristina Oitichica. He recounted that upon meeting Cristina for the first time, he felt as if he had known her from many lifetimes before. The two talked endlessly, each sentence fitting perfectly into the other's mind. Coelho believed that it was the orchestration if it has been going on for a long time. That is synchronicity speaking. Listen, feel, because when the energy of two souls harmonizes, all boundaries disappear, and the journey of inner awakening truly begins. Number 2, not all resonance is eternal. There are connections between two souls that leave us astonished by their profound resonance. From the very first glance, the first touch, the heart seems to leap out of the chest, every sense awakens, and the soul whispers, "This is the one." That is when synchronicity occurs, when two beings meet not by chance, but because their energies have already harmonized. But there is a hard truth that many often refuse to hear. Not all resonance is eternal. Sometimes, those souls come not to stay, but to awaken, to stir the deepest parts of the soul that we have never confronted. Carl Jung once said, "Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go." Indeed, when two people reach powerful resonance within their souls, it is easy to mistake that connection for eternity. But sometimes, destiny is not about walking together through life, but meeting at a crossroads to illuminate the rest of the journey. These people appear like a storm, strong, intense, shaking everything in your life, making you feel as if you have been awakened from a long unconscious sleep. They come like a blazing fire, burning away prejudices, challenging limitations, and then disappear, leaving ashes and sometimes wounds that have yet to heal. Imagine meeting a new colleague at work. From the very first conversations, you sense a strange resonance. Both share the same views on work, the same perspectives on life. Every exchange flows naturally, as if you had known each other for a long time. That person is not just a colleague, but becomes a source of inspiration, helping you change your perspective on your career, opening up new ways to solve problems. But then, like a passing breeze, they transfer to another department, and everything returns to normal. You realize that their presence was not to stay, but to awaken new perspectives, to rekindle motivations you thought were long forgotten. Or in romantic relationships, many have experienced meeting a stranger who feels oddly familiar. The long dates, the endless conversations that stretch through the night, everything flows naturally, as if the two of you had been waiting for each other for a very long time. But sometimes, that intense resonance is not enough to sustain long-lasting love. They leave, leaving behind an emptiness and countless unanswered questions. But through the pain, you realize that their presence was necessary for you to learn to love yourself more, to learn to let go of what does not belong to you. Souls that arrive like storms are often the ones who help us see the hidden corners of ourselves that we always avoid. They illuminate the wounds, the fears, the buried desires. They force us to look deeply within, to confront the darkness we once chose to ignore. When two people meet not to accompany each other but to awaken, they compel us to change, whether we are ready or not. As Jung described, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. They force us to recognize the darkness within ourselves, accept it, and then find a way to transform it. Have you ever met someone who changed your life in a short time, only for you to realize, after they left, that you were no longer the same? That is when you meet someone who came to awaken. They are not a soulmate, but a catalyst who throws you into emotional chaos, through which you discover your hidden strength. Like Anna Karenina in Lev Tolstoy's novel of the same name, the intense love affair between Anna and Count Vronsky was never enduring. Although that love blazed brightly, it could not save either soul. In the end, separation was inevitable, because that relationship came only to change each person's perspective on themselves and life. Many are confused when facing separation after moments of soul resonance. They cling to the thought that if the connection was that powerful, it must last forever. But the truth is, not all love accompanies permanence. Some relationships come to help us realize something deeper about ourselves, to teach us how to let go, to accept that not all love is meant to be eternal. So why do we still yearn and cling to such relationships? It is because human nature fears loneliness, fears facing the imperfections within ourselves. But the truth is, those souls who come to awaken us are not betrayers. They are guides in our journey of growth. When they leave, do not see it as a loss, but as a gift from the universe, helping you understand yourself more clearly. Sometimes the deepest resonance is not about walking through life together, but a collision in a moment, so that each goes their way carrying a valuable lesson. And as Carl Jung once said, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Their departure wakes us up, stops us from dreaming about things that are not truly meant for us, and begins the journey of genuine and complete inner awakening. Not everyone who comes will stay, but not every departure is a loss. Because sometimes, to become the complete version of ourselves, we need storms, powerful souls that appear to stir and awaken. If the resonance between two souls is a storm, be grateful for its arrival, for teaching you how to love, how to grow, and how to be free even in pain. Because not all resonance is eternal, but surely every resonance has its reason for existing. Number 3. Synchronized souls or just a mirror reflection. Some people step into our lives like storms, stirring everything. A friend once shared with me her painful cycle of repeated relationships. Every time she fell in love, she would be abandoned, feeling unworthy, undeserving of love. Each time, the pain would build up, and she would question what she had done wrong. But after much reflection, she realized the problem did not lie with the men who entered her life, but with the wounds from her childhood, the feelings of being abandoned, being forgotten, that had followed her through adulthood. Those men were merely mirrors reflecting her unhealed trauma, forcing her to confront it, to find healing. Jung once asserted, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This means that until you acknowledge what lies in your unconscious, it will continue to govern your life, and you will mistake it for destiny. These recurring relationships are not coincidences. They are whispers from the unconscious, calls for you to turn back and face the shadows that have yet to be healed. We attract what we have not resolved. We repeat the wounds that we have not acknowledged. If you have ever experienced loving someone deeply, only to find that happiness remains elusive no matter how hard you try, perhaps it is time to ask, what is that person reflecting within me? The miracle is that when we dare to look into that mirror, dare to confront our wounds, everything begins to change. The people who enter our lives no longer serve as sources of pain, but become lessons for us to learn how to love ourselves, how to accept the dark corners we once tried to hide. Jung called this process individuation, when we gradually harmonize the conscious and the unconscious, the light and the dark within the soul. Only when we face ourselves will those recurring patterns disappear and those reflective mirrors fade away. We will no longer be drawn to old pains, no longer be trapped in cycles of hurt. You may have once felt anger or even hatred towards those who caused you pain, but sometimes they are the ones who help you see yourself most clearly. They reflect the shadows you always tried to hide. They force you to confront the wounds you were always afraid of, not to hurt you further, but to make you recognize the unhealed parts so that you can find a way to mend and grow stronger. Jung once wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. What bothers us about others is an invitation to look back at ourselves." When you begin to view every relationship as a mirror, everything becomes clearer. Instead of blaming or resenting, you learn to be grateful for their presence in your life. They come to help you recognize what needs healing, what needs changing, and sometimes what you need to let go of. They are guides, not meant to walk the entire journey with you, but to help you look back at yourself, to help you understand that healing can only begin from within. And when those mirrors have fulfilled their purpose, they will leave, leaving you with growth, awakening, and a heart stronger than ever. You will move forward, no longer fearing the cycles of the past, because now you have learned to look directly into that mirror and see yourself. The fragments of the past are no longer burdens, but foundations for growth and spiritual awakening. What about you? Have you ever experienced relationships that seemed synchronized only to fade away, leaving behind emptiness and a deeper awakening in your soul? Are you brave enough to look into that mirror, to face yourself, share your feelings? Perhaps that openness is the doorway to the healing journey you have been searching for. Number 4. When two souls truly harmonize, when we are brave enough to face the mirror reflections of past relationships, when we accept the unhealed wounds and are strong enough to heal them, we enter a new phase of the soul's journey, true harmony between two souls. No more hurtful cycles, no more old patterns dragging us back into the shadows of the past. Instead, when two souls find each other in awakening and growth, that resonance is not only powerful, but also enduring, most miraculously. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the journey towards self-realization, where each person reaches a deep understanding of themselves, no longer dependent on others to seek fulfillment. Jung once stated, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." It means that the greatest gift of life is the ability to become your true self, without evasion, without fear, without masks. When each individual reaches that state, harmony with another happens naturally and more powerfully than ever. It is no longer dependency or yearning, but the resonance of two independent yet synchronized energies, like two rivers flowing in the same direction, not merging but running alongside each other, supporting, and expanding. They do not need to bind each other to feel secure, because that connection is not built on scarcity or fear, but on completeness, understanding, and freedom. Imagine if in a relationship, each person has undergone the process of individuation, entering the shared journey with a healed heart, an open mind, and a soul strong enough to embrace love without fear. This harmony not only nurtures each other, but also expands the boundaries of awareness and love. Carl Jung once said, "Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. When love reigns, there is no need for control or dominance. There is only freedom and respect." I once heard a story about two soulmates. They met during a time when both had experienced enough heartbreak and had grown stronger through their past failures. The miracle was, when they met, they did not try to change or control each other, but simply grew together. Each had their own space to pursue their passions and dreams, yet they understood each other enough to share every moment of life. That relationship was not loud or intense, but it was enduring and full of respect. They found each other not to save one another, but to continue the journey stronger and deeper. Jung called this true resonance, when two independent souls find each other and together expand the boundaries of love and understanding. No more fear of loss, no more psychological games or control. Instead, there is freedom to become the best version of oneself, to experience and to grow together. This is love that does not destroy, but nurtures, does not hurt, but heals, like two flames burning brightly, not consuming each other, but merging to create a greater, stronger light. Have you ever experienced this feeling? The feeling of finding someone who does not need you to change, does not need you to force yourself to be perfect, but simply wants you to be yourself, whole and authentic. That is when resonance occurs. That is when two souls have been through enough lessons, enough pain, to finally meet at the crossroads of growth and acceptance. They do not fill each other's emptiness, but walk alongside one another on the journey of wholeness. When two souls resonate, they not only change their perception of love, but also transform themselves. This relationship is not bondage, but expansion. It is not possession, but liberation. They no longer seek validation from each other, because both understand that true love is mutual respect. Resonance without barter, without control or restraint. What about you? Have you ever felt that harmony, where every gaze, every word seems to flow in sync, without effort, without strain? Are you searching for someone to fill the emptiness? Or are you looking for a synchronized soul to grow and mature with? If you have experienced this, share your story. And if not, trust that when you are whole enough, that person will appear as a natural resonance of the universe. No need to search, no need to wait, just the need to be ready. Number 5. Energy and attraction. When two souls truly harmonize, it is not a journey that comes from seeking, but from the growth of each individual. But how do those two souls find each other among billions of people in the world? The answer lies in the energy and vibrational frequency that you carry with you. Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." In that same way, you are also what you feel, what you believe, and the vibrational frequency you emit to the world. The souls that appear in your life are not by chance. They are the perfect resonance with the energy you are radiating. Imagine each person's energy as a radio frequency. If you emit the frequency of unhealed wounds, of unresolved pain, you will attract those who carry the same brokenness, the same pain. This is why sometimes we fall into repetitive relationships, the same kind of hurt, the same kind of person. Though the names may change, the faces may change, but the feeling remains the same. For instance, if you carry within you the fear of abandonment, you may unconsciously attract people who are not ready to commit, who easily leave when things get tough. This is not a coincidence, but a call from within, an echo of unhealed frequencies. Jung called this the resonance of the unconscious. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. However, the miracle is that when your energy changes, your vibrational frequency also changes. When you begin to heal those wounds, to let go of the burdens of the past, the energy you emit becomes clearer, lighter, and purer. The people you attract at this point are no longer fragments of brokenness, but souls that resonate, ready to grow and uplift with you. It's like changing a radio channel. When your frequency shifts, what shows up in your life changes accordingly. No more old cycles of heartbreak, but instead, the resonance of growth and maturity. Think back to a time when you felt at peace and loved yourself the most. During that time, the people who showed up in your life probably brought positivity and support instead of dragging you into the depths of sorrow. That was not a coincidence. When you are full of love and gratitude, you attract people who share that same frequency, those who also love and respect themselves. That is the power of energy resonance, a principle not only believed by Jung, but also explained in modern science through the law of attraction. A friend once shared with me that before she found her current life partner, she went through many painful and heartbreaking relationships. It was only later, when she began to focus on healing herself, learning to love herself more, and stepping away from toxic relationships, that her life partner unexpectedly appeared. It wasn't through frantic searching, but simply that they met when both were emotionally and mentally ready. When her vibrational frequency changed, the person resonating with that new energy stepped into her life gently, naturally, as if predestined long ago. Carl Jung believed, what you resist persists. If you continue to resist your wounds, refusing to acknowledge and heal them, you will continue to attract those who reflect that same pain to you. But when you dare to face it, dare to change, the universe will respond with synchronized souls, people with matching vibrational frequencies, ready to walk with you on the journey of growth. You do not need to search, you do not need to force, because true resonance is always natural and smooth, like how rivers meet each other in the vast ocean. Can you see it? When we change the way we vibrate, everything around us changes too. When you learn to love yourself, heal old wounds, the people who come into your life will be those who lift you, who walk with you, instead of pulling you back into the depths of pain. The outer world is merely a reflection of the inner world. If within you is peace and fulfillment, those you attract will bring that same peace. What about you? What kind of people are you attracting into your life? Are they the ones who help you grow and uplift? Or are they the ones repeating cycles of pain that you haven't yet escaped? Try to look back at the relationships around you and ask yourself, is the energy I am carrying inviting positivity or just reflecting unhealed wounds? Only when you change your vibrational frequency can you truly change what you attract into your life. Number 6. Not all harmonized souls are forever. When we understand that our energy and vibrational frequency determine the souls we attract into our lives, we must also accept a truth that is sometimes difficult to face. Not all harmonized souls are forever. Amid the beautiful resonance of two souls, sometimes they come only to fulfill a specific role in our journey of growth. They arrive to awaken, to illuminate the hidden corners we have never recognized, but they are not necessarily meant to stay with us for life. Carl Jung once said, "Some soulmates don't come to stay, they come to awaken." These are the people who step into our lives, touch the deepest parts of our hearts, and then leave, leaving behind an awakening, sometimes wounds, but above all, growth. Imagine a house covered in dust after many years of neglect. When someone steps in, opens all the windows, sunlight floods in, dust rises, and everything becomes clearer. That person does not stay to clean up the house, but their presence brings light, helping us see what needs to be repaired, what needs to be changed. In life, some relationships come just and an awakened heart. Have you ever experienced this feeling? Meeting someone, loving someone, believing it would be forever, but in the end, they leave, leaving a void that seems impossible to fill. Yet over time, you realize that their presence and departure helped you change, helped you awaken, helped you become stronger to embrace better things ahead. If you have experienced it, share your story, because perhaps that sharing will help you realize that sometimes their departure is the universe's gift for you to find yourself. When the energies of two souls harmonize, no force on this earth can prevent that connection. It is a resonance that transcends physical and temporal limitations, a miraculous synchronicity that only those who truly listen to their souls can perceive. But this harmony is not always forever. Some souls come to awaken, to illuminate, and help us recognize the hidden corners within ourselves. They are the ones who stir what we have forgotten, the things we need to face, heal, and grow from. And when their role is complete, they leave, leaving behind lessons and emotions that linger forever in our memories. Some souls appear to walk alongside us for longer journeys, growing and evolving together. They are the ones whose energy resonance not only brings short-term change, but is the foundation for a longer journey, a journey of understanding, love, and lasting growth. These connections not only help us see ourselves more clearly, but also expand our capacity to love and connect with the world around us. Therefore, do not fear when special people step into your life, whether for a short time or a long one. Every appearance carries a mission, a certain meaning in your awakening journey. Look within, listen to the call of your soul, to be ready to embrace the true, profound, and complete connections. Because only when you awaken from within will you be strong and wise enough to recognize the souls that truly resonate with you. If you feel that Carl Jung's philosophies have touched your soul, if you yearn to explore more about the journey of inner growth and true soul connection, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Let's awaken together, seek true harmony together, and explore the deepest mysteries within the soul together. There are relationships that do not end with a loud argument or a clear betrayal, but with thousands of invisible cuts, every denial of your feelings, every time you are made to doubt yourself. You don't realize it, but day by day, little by little, you are eroded until you almost forget who you are. With a narcissist, their power does not lie in chaining you with physical shackles, but in making you lock the door from the inside yourself. And when one day you find the key, open the door and step out. It is not only the moment you reclaim your freedom, it is also their worst nightmare. Carl Jung believed that the closer you come to your true self, the more you will make those who depend on illusion and control feel threatened to their very core. And that is the moment the narcissist realizes they have lost. Today's video will reveal the stages most narcissists go through when they realize you have won, the tactics they may use, and most importantly, how to keep the freedom you have just claimed without letting them drag you back into the darkness. If you've ever been in this situation, this may be the first time you understand why they react the way they do, and why your standing firm is the ultimate victory. Number 1. The narcissist's past impact on you. Before reaching the day you could break free and stand firm in your own life, you once lived in an environment where everything revolved around them. At first, you might not have noticed anything unusual. In fact, the relationship may have started intensely. They cared for you, complimented you, and made you feel truly special. But over time, that care began to change. A narcissist doesn't control you with obvious, easily recognized actions. They use subtle ways to gradually take control of your emotions and thoughts. One common tactic is gaslighting, making you doubt your own memory and perceptions. For example, you clearly remember a conversation that happened, but they insist you remembered wrong or made it up. Or when you share that you feel sad or hurt, they deny it, telling you that you are too sensitive or overreacting. Slowly, you start to doubt yourself. They also frequently use guilt tripping, planting feelings of guilt to make you comply with their wishes. If you refuse a request or express a different opinion, they might say things like, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't do that," or "You don't care about me at all." Every time you don't comply, they turn it into proof that you are selfish or uncaring. You begin to feel responsible for their emotions, as if it's your job to keep them happy. Another tactic is love bombing and then withdrawal. At first, they shower you with affection, attention, and praise, making you believe this is a wonderful relationship. But then, suddenly, they pull it all away. The coldness and distance make you anxious and eager to earn back that initial warmth. This keeps you constantly trying to please them, hoping they will return to how they were before. Over time, these tactics leave deep marks. You lose confidence. Instead of making decisions based on your own desires and values, you begin to consider how they will react. You constantly watch them, their facial expressions, tone of voice, how they reply to messages, just to guess if they're happy or angry, so you know how to act safely. Your life gradually revolves around keeping them satisfied, avoiding making them upset. else begins to happen, something that strikes right at the deepest and most fragile part of them. The next part will explain why your freedom terrifies them so much, and why it becomes their greatest nightmare. Number 2. Why your escape strikes their deepest fear. A narcissist lives behind a mask, what Carl Jung called the persona. It is the image they want others to see, strong, special, confident, and always in control. But it is all a facade. Beneath that glamorous surface lies the shadow, the place that holds everything they never want to face: shame, feelings of inadequacy, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, and deeper still, the fear of abandonment. This shadow doesn't disappear simply because they deny it. It stays there, buried very deep. To avoid facing it, they need a mirror constantly reflecting back their fabricated image of power. In the relationship, you were that mirror. When you reacted according to their script, when you were afraid, needed them, or sought their approval, you were reinforcing the image they wanted to believe was real. But when you break free, when you become psychologically independent, that mirror shatters. You no longer validate what they want to hear, no longer play the subordinate. And that is when they are forced to see themselves without the glamorous mask, a person who is not omnipotent, not invincible, and especially no longer holding absolute power over you. This strikes right at their greatest fear, the fear of being exposed. For them, someone seeing the real person beneath the mask is equivalent to losing all value. Jung once said that the persona is the system of relations between the individual consciousness and society. It exists to meet others' expectations. When the persona is broken, they feel as if their whole being has collapsed. In reality, to a narcissist, you are not just someone in a relationship. You are also a supply source, or what psychology calls narcissistic supply, the energy that sustains their self-illusion. When you leave or become independent, that supply runs dry. This not only makes them sad or disappointed, it also triggers what's called narcissistic injury, a deep psychological wound that makes them feel diminished, humiliated, and even stripped of their identity. Imagine a narcissistic husband who is used to his wife silently enduring every time he loses his temper. But after a period of therapy, she starts setting boundaries and refuses to be insulted. The very first time she calmly says, "You don't get to speak to me that way," he explodes, not just because he's being challenged, but because that moment shows him he is no longer the king in this story. The intensity of the reaction is because, from a very young age, many narcissists learned to survive by constructing a perfect image to hide the wounded part inside. They never learned how to face and heal that shadow. So when the mask cracks, they don't know what to do with their emotions. Instead of accepting the truth, they will do anything to restore control, even resorting to extreme behavior. Your reclaiming of psychological independence is like touching their core wound, the fear that deep down they are unlovable, not good enough, and will be abandoned if they can't maintain a powerful image. For a normal person, this truth may be painful, but can be accepted and used to grow. But for a narcissist, it is almost impossible to accept. It shakes the entire psychological structure they depend on to survive. It's as if they've been standing their whole life on a suspension bridge held up by thin ropes. Every compliment, every act of obedience from others is another rope tied in to keep the bridge standing. When you leave, you're not just untying one rope, you're pulling away crucial anchors. The bridge begins to sway violently. In their eyes, this is not just losing a relationship, but losing a part of themselves. When you stop being the supply, you force them to confront the emptiness they've been avoiding all their life. All their fears, insecurities, and old wounds come flooding back at once. At that moment, their reaction can be so extreme, it's unpredictable, because you've touched the deepest, weakest, and most well-hidden part of them. If you've ever witnessed someone reveal their true face and lash out simply because you no longer shine the light on them, leave an emoji as a secret mark, to remind yourself that you've stepped out of your role in their play and into the light of your own life. Number 3. The 3 stages when a narcissist realizes you've won. When you regain control, for you, it may be the beginning of a new life. But for them, it is the start of a chain of intense psychological reactions, a process that, if you don't understand, can easily pull you back in. Carl Jung called these the last convulsions of a threatened ego, and they often unfold in 3 distinct stages. Stage 1. Shock and testing their power. In the beginning, the first thing that appears is not anger, but disbelief. For a narcissist, the idea that you could free yourself from their control is almost impossible. They are used to a script where you are always the underling. Husband, after failing to win her back with apologies, turned to calling her ungrateful and heartless, even using private secrets she had once confided as weapons. The key to remember in this stage is that they are not truly reacting to your current self, but to the image of you in their mind, the one who revolved around them. Your change makes them feel their power slipping, and their instinct is to pull you back to your old place by any means. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." In this stage, their actions are living proof of that. Instead of self-reflection, They try every way to pull you back into the old play, because it spares them from having to face the emptiness inside. It reminds me of the Odyssey by Homer, when the sailors try to row away from the land of the sirens, creatures whose enchanting songs lure them back. Here, the narcissist is the siren, and every word or action of testing is a familiar melody. If you loosen your grip on the oars, your boat will be drawn back in. Stage 1 is dangerous because it plays on your memories and compassion, the most beautiful parts of you. You must remember that their emotions are no longer your responsibility. If you get through this stage, you will see their darker side emerge, and that's exactly what we will explore in the next stage. Stage 2, intense shadow projection. When every attempt to test fails, the narcissist's fake tenderness disappears. In its place comes something darker and more aggressive, what Jung called mass shadow projection, the act of projecting their entire shadow onto you. This often comes suddenly, as if a door has opened and you are seeing a completely different version of them, no longer the pleasant, attentive, or seemingly caring person from before, but someone obsessed with protecting their image to the point of destroying yours. For the narcissist, this is survival instinct. If their mask is at risk of falling, they will quickly try to place it on your face instead, turning you into the one at fault. The things they hate most about themselves, deceit, selfishness, laziness, betrayal, will be pinned on you. They will accuse you of doing the very things they are doing, sometimes with such brazenness that you start wondering if they might actually believe it themselves. This is when the reversal begins. If you stay silent, they say you're hiding something. If you speak up, they say you're just defending yourself. They might repeat these accusations persistently and strategically, planting seeds of doubt in others, because they know that sometimes people don't need proof, they just need to hear the same story enough times to believe it. One woman, a viewer of the channel, shared that after ending a friendship with a narcissistic friend, she noticed some people in their shared group suddenly becoming distant. Later, she found out that this former friend had been telling everyone she was gossipy, selfish, and always trying to take advantage of others. The most painful part wasn't just the lies, but the silence or suspicion from people she had once trusted. A friend of mine, an office worker, after refusing to continue working with a narcissistic colleague on a project, discovered that this person had been spreading rumors that he often stole credit and worked dishonestly. Just a few repeated comments were enough to make some in the company start looking at him differently. It took him months, through persistence and the quality of his work, to rebuild his reputation. Gaslighting in this stage becomes so absurd, you can spot it instantly. They no longer care whether you believe them, as long as you are worn down, wasting your time and energy trying to defend yourself. Some will deliberately create ambiguous situations, like sending you mixed messages, warm one moment, attacking the next, to keep you in a state of confusion. This is a psychological attrition tactic, where the goal isn't to win the argument, but to exhaust you into returning to your old role simply because you don't have the strength to resist anymore. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The problem is, with a narcissist, they don't use that irritation to look inward. They hurl all of it onto you, as if you were the only mirror reflecting their darkness. It's like someone throwing a bag of garbage into your yard, then standing from a distance shouting that you're the one who left it there. You know the truth, but if you keep running around trying to clean it up or explain yourself, you end up participating in the story they've scripted. The danger is, when you're too busy cleaning up the trash they've dumped on you, you forget that you have an entire garden to tend: your life, your values, and your real reputation. This stage is not just an external battle, it is also an inner test. You will be forced to face a hard truth. Not everyone will understand you, not everyone will stand by your side, and that does not define who you are. If you can get through this stage with our clarity and tact, you will witness the final and most dangerous moment. Stage 3. Collapse of the false self. This is the point of no return. Jung called it ego death, the death of the ego. He once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and that they were the one choosing to leave, even when the truth had already come out. Others choose fierce retaliation, lashing out as if they have nothing left to lose. A friend of mine witnessed a team leader, after being refused further collaboration due to manipulative behavior, spend weeks sending defamatory emails, spreading false rumors, and even dragging uninvolved people into the conflict. For them, causing harm becomes the last way to feel they still have power. At this stage, the line between rationality and impulsive action is paper thin. They may try every possible way to exert influence, whether aimed at you or at people close to you. This is when they are willing to destroy anything they can, just to prove they still exist and can still have an impact. For them, even making others feel uneasy or afraid can be seen as a victory in the middle of their crisis. Because loss of control is their core fear, these extreme behaviors are often not aimed at defeating you, but at temporarily soothing that fear. The danger is that many people mistake sudden silence or disappearance as "it's over." In reality, this may be when they are most capable of acting recklessly. Desperation can lead to decisions that cause serious harm, not only to you, but to themselves. And if you don't recognize the real nature of this silence, you might inadvertently reopen the door you fought so hard to close. When you make it through all 3 stages, you will realize that the true victory is not escaping a person, but escaping a psychological system that once kept you in the dark. You will stand on the other shore, where you are no longer defined by their gaze, and where the truth does not have to shout to be recognized. From here, the story doesn't stop at identifying the 3 stages. It opens up to the most important part: staying safe and protecting the freedom you've just reclaimed. If you've ever stood there and seen someone's true face revealed through all 3 of these stages, leave a like as a statement that you've made it out. And share this video so that someone out there, before it's too late, can recognize and avoid being dragged back into the darkness where you were once trapped. Number 4. How to protect yourself during these stages. When a narcissist is in crisis, everything they do is unpredictable. You can think of this period as standing before a giant wave at sea. Sometimes the surface is unnervingly calm, making you think it's safe. But then suddenly, a fierce wave can rise and sweep away everything in its path. When a narcissist is in crisis, they might disappear in silence or explode in attack. This is the time you must keep yourself absolutely safe, emotionally, mentally, and even legally. And to do that, you need to know how to maintain distance without getting pulled back in. First, keep boundaries in your mind. Narcissists often throw their emotions and faults onto others. They feel angry, jealous, inadequate, but make you believe those are your problems. A viewer once wrote to the channel about a distant relative. Whenever something didn't go their way, that person would sneer, "You only think about yourself. You never help anyone." In reality, it was this person who was always asking for favors without ever reciprocating. Instead of arguing, she simply responded calmly and didn't let those words shape how she saw herself. She understood that was their issue, not hers. Second, don't fall into the rescuer role. When we see someone struggling, our natural instinct is to help. But with a narcissist, this help is often exploited as a way for them to regain control over you. I once knew someone working in a school's parent-teacher association. In the group, there was a member very skilled at manipulation, sometimes appearing enthusiastic, other times quietly sowing conflict. When her behavior was exposed, the group decided not to invite her anymore. At first, she withdrew in silence, but just a few weeks later, she returned by sending a long email full of apologies, sharing that she was going through personal difficulties. Some members felt sympathy, thinking things might change, and agreed to let her return. But within a short time, the old tricks resurfaced, spreading rumors, twisting meeting information, and trying to divide the group. In the end, the PTA had to hold an emergency meeting, this time making a firm decision to remove her permanently. This shows clearly, if you don't hold firm boundaries, a narcissist will find any way back in, and everything can repeat exactly the same. Third, be prepared for escalation. When they feel their power slipping, they may do extreme things. Escalation doesn't just happen directly, it can happen through social media, emails, or through other people. I know of a case where a teacher refused an unreasonable request from a parent. After that, the parent sent complaint emails to the school, then posted distorted accounts on Facebook, and finally showed up at the school to make a scene. Fortunately, the teacher had documented every email, message, and report in time, which protected her. For that reason, keep all evidence. If they defame or distort the truth about you, having clear proof will help you protect yourself. Screenshot, save messages, emails, or any layer of influence they left behind, from how you see yourself to how you respond to the world. When you truly break free, you don't just cut a toxic cord, you open a new space where you are the one who defines your own path. The first obvious change is that you start trusting your feelings and memories again. Before, whatever you felt was often denied or twisted. They might say, "That didn't happen," "You imagined it," or "You're too sensitive." Hearing it repeatedly, you began to doubt yourself. But without that voice next to you, you realize your feelings are valid and your memories are real. You learn to stand by yourself instead of waiting for someone else to validate you. In one Jungian therapy session, a woman shared that she once worked in an environment where the department head habitually belittled employees, especially when they proposed new ideas. Every time she presented an idea, he would mock, dismiss, or deliberately distort the information to make her doubt her abilities. After leaving that company, it took her months to dare trust her analytical skills again. Then, when she started at a new workplace, receiving positive feedback from colleagues and seeing her ideas implemented, she gradually recovered. The biggest change was no longer having to ask permission to trust what she knew was right. When you trust yourself, you start setting boundaries, not just thoughts in your head, but clear limits protected by action. You don't let others speak to you with contempt. You don't allow anyone to interfere in personal decisions if they have no right, and you know how to say no without feeling guilty. At first, it might be as simple as not answering messages while you're resting, but over time, it becomes your way of living. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Setting boundaries is an essential part of protecting that true self. When you keep your boundaries, you naturally attract healthy relationships. People who respect others will sense and appreciate your firmness. On the other hand, those who thrive on control or exploitation will feel uncomfortable and leave. A famous example is actress Viola Davis. In an interview, she shared that in her younger years, she accepted many disrespectful relationships and work environments simply because she feared losing opportunities. But then she realized that no role or contract was worth sacrificing her inner peace. The result was not only a more flourishing career, but also long-term partnerships with people who genuinely respected her. What's special is that when you change, you become an inspiration to others, not because you try to appear strong, but simply through the way you live. Maybe a co-worker notices how calm you remain when under attack. Maybe a friend learns from you how to say no without fear of offending. Or sometimes, your story helps someone else find their own way out. I once knew a woman who, after escaping a toxic relationship, started writing a blog sharing her journey. At first, only a few people read it, but gradually, hundreds of women found it and realized they were not alone. Many of them took the courage to leave their own toxic relationships. She never tried to make herself a guide, but when you live authentically and share the truth, you naturally touch the hearts of those who need it. This journey is not a straight line. There will be days you feel strong and days when old memories come back to test you. But unlike before, now you have tools. You understand your emotions, you know where your boundaries are, and you know you deserve respect. These changes ripple out into your surroundings. Your family begins to respect your limits. Friends learn to communicate more directly. Colleagues see that a healthy work environment is built on mutual respect. Every small act, from refusing unreasonable demands to sharing your story, creates lasting influence. Like a seed once trapped in a sealed box, you lived in a space where light and nourishment were controlled. You didn't die, but you couldn't grow, only surviving just enough. The narcissist held the key, giving you a bit of light or water when they wished, but always keeping you weak so you couldn't rise on your own. Then one day, the door opened. At first, the sunlight overwhelmed you, but gradually you felt the wind, the warm soil, and the sun feeding you. You sprouted, grew tall, and realized what had kept you small wasn't your weakness, but the stifling environment. Once free from it, life within you surged back stronger than ever. In the end, the greatest meaning of escaping a narcissist isn't how quickly or slowly you leave, but who you become afterward. You are no longer caught in psychological games or defined by someone else's gaze. You are the one who chooses your direction, who knows your worth, and no one can take that away. The most precious gift is the ability to tell your story calmly, without fear, because you know that all their efforts to keep you in the dark ultimately became the very material that helped you step into the light, shining brighter than ever. When a narcissist realizes you have won, it is like a creature accustomed to living in darkness suddenly having light shone directly into their eyes. They become disoriented, panicked, and do everything to pull you back.